Sherry, can you see me? This is... It did the thing again where I couldn't see the screen. The screen just wasn't there. It was just you. All I saw was you. I didn't see any lead-in or nothing.
I could hear you. The lead-in was there.
What?
I could hear you.
See it.
Sherry, can you see me? Sherry? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. The man to my left today, to the left, is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychiatrist and psychologist from the Twitter. We're here to talk to you about all things professional wrestling, except for maybe New Japan and TNA. TNA, I might throw something. Well, Don, what's the big story that you have so far? You know what? We didn't talk about AEW's ratings
we had
last night.
A couple of cleanups from last night. The show was running long. We had to get the hell out of there. So I just wanted to cover on a couple of things. AEW ratings were in from last night. We didn't get a chance to talk about this. They did 828,000, right? Which is now their new 850, right? 828 is the new 850 because they were doing 850 just a few weeks ago, right?
Yep.
So now we're down to 828, and that's becoming the new norm. And Wednesday night show, if you look at the quarter-hour breakdown, the end of that, they got the hell out of town as soon as that Moxley match started. Everybody buckled up and said, no, I'm out of here, man. They dropped over 100,000 people between the first top of the hour and the bottom of the half hour. They got that
126,000 people. 126,000 people said, we're out.
It started off with, 946?
No, 996, the lead-in from the Big Bang Theory, almost 1 million people, and they blew 126,000 with the likes of FTR versus John Moxley and Claudio Canoli.
And what did it end at? I don't want to talk about the overrun. I don't want to delve into it, but what was the last official quarter hour before the overrun?
756,000.
Wow. 200.
Wow, dude, they almost a quarter of a million they lost.
Just got the hell out of there. And yes, Larry, we're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber almost being hijacked by pirates later, too. That was another story that just developed.
Arr.
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. Just absolutely crazy.
Show me your chamber.
That was just sort of what it was last night. I just want to touch on this, get it over with, get that done.
Well, you know, they killed the ratings draw of Samoa Joe. They've killed it.
It's gone to shit. I'll agree.
Samoa Joe was in the main event, and he couldn't turn it around. Usually when he's on for a quarter hour, the show picks up ratings. But,
I'm going to say it. What everybody else is thinking. How many times are we going to get the same two guys in the ring facing each other between Hangman Page and Swerve? How many times are we going to get this? I don't want to see it anymore.
No more.
This was the fourth or fifth time in 3 or 4 months. This is the same complaint we have to WWE. They run the same shit over and over again, and that's when you drive away the ratings.
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean out there jacking shit. Alex, I do not remember when NBC had that one Chicago lineup that took away viewers from AEW. I really don't. There was something else that came out today. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards. Did you see this today? They finally announced it.
There's a young man down in Jacksonville, Florida, on suicide watch.
It was not a good day. It was not a good day for Tony Khan because he prides himself on his booking. He swears he's one of the greatest bookers ever. He's the guy. He's running the show. He takes all the credit. He takes all the blame. And right now, there's a whole lot of blame to go around. But I did want to get into some of these topics because I wanted to hear your takes on just a couple of them. They announced the Wrestler of the Year, according to the Wrestling Online newsletter. And by the way, folks, you can vote on this if you pay Dave. Yes, if you pay Dave Meltzer to be a subscription guy, he will let you have a vote. This is.
Don, what's the monthly subscription cost?
I have no idea because I would never in my life look into subscribing to something like that.
When they had deals over the last 10 years. Excuse me, 10 years ago, I subscribed when I thought he was reputable. It was like, you get a whole month for $3.99. I said, $4. I piss that away on lottery tickets. Why not? for access to the website and 4 free issues, why not? So I did it. And it's just this, you can find the same thing on Twitter. You can find the same info just perusing the internet. Because everyone republishes Meltzer's shit. So why pay for it?
Twitter has really almost made him obsolete. It used to be I got it first, therefore I know something you don't. And now these are his awards and people are throwing them out there left and right. I've got the entire lineup right now and it's not even subscribed to his page.
Twitter to the Wrestling Observer is like Napster was to the music industry back in the 90s.
Or what the internet is to newspapers. Like, it's killing it. It's killed them. There's no need for a newspaper.
Print is dead.
I want to get into a couple of these. Wrestler of the Year. The professional wrestler of the year. To me,
best one.
To me, this is the guy that drew the most money, had the most big matches, had the most time on TV, had the most time on pay-per-views or PLEs, or however you would approach him now.
Highest ratings.
Highest ratings, of course, because after all, just because you don't like it, if the masses appeal to it, I got news for you. That's what's going to be considered the best. That's just how it is in life. The one who gets the most votes is the one that is the best. That's just life.
Of course.
Will Ospreay is the wrestler of the year.
Bruh.
Yeah, you're going to need a drink on this.
Bruh, Will Ospreay. This is just a Diet Coke, pal. That's all. It's a dry show for me.
I can leave now if you want.
Will Ospreay, wrestler of the year. God bless him. It's fine work if you can get it. All these people kissing your ass. Alvarez, Meltzer, Jim Valley.
Will Ospreay. Goodness.
Swinging from that teat.
It is called the Lou Thez Ric Flair Award now. Will Ospreay, I have seen maybe a handful of times this year on AEW. I haven't seen a whole lot of them. How is a guy that is wrestling overseas predominantly going to win an American wrestling publication for Wrestler of the Year when the majority of fans have not seen him wrestle? And it's not an exaggeration, and don't come at me with the horse shit. The vast majority, 2.5 million people I'd be willing to bet that watch SmackDown have never seen a Will Ospreay match. So don't give me the bullshit that he's something special. It's a joke. Cody Rhodes came in second. I have news for you. Cody Rhodes is the wrestler of the year. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Course.
Love him or hate him. He is the guy right now. He's headlining WrestleMania. Biggest star.
Biggest star.
What do you think of this?
He's the biggest star in the promotion of the year. So if the World Wrestling Entertainment Company is the promotion of the year by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, I jumped ahead.
That's fine, but they are. Yes, they were.
And we'll go back into who's 2, 3, 4, 5 in this. Why wouldn't the biggest star in the World Wrestling Entertainment be the Wrestler of the Year?
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it, man.
Right. I'm agreeing with you. It's crazy.
Promotion of the year, Booker of the year, both fall on WWE's doorstep. Both of them. And they don't get this award. I don't get that. Hold up, here's another one. Most outstanding wrestler is another category he had. Do you care to take a bet?
Wait a second. Outstanding wrestler, best wrestler.
I don't get the difference either. I think it's ridiculous.
So the guy in best wrestler, the guy got voted best wrestler. The number 2 guy should be the most outstanding wrestler. The runner-up?
Actually, no, it was Will Ospreay again. It was
Come on, man.
I swear.
Are you kidding me?
It's the same fucking award. It's the same award. Wait, it gets better. Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega were the other 2 getting the top votes.
It's a AEW jerk fest is what it is. It's Idiot of the Year is Tony Khan. He gave his 2 biggest stars ever the WWE on a platter. Of course.
Yeah. He had it there.
He drove them out. He drove them out.
I would be willing to bet money that's going to headline WrestleMania next year if Punk is healthy. Mm-hmm. And Punk would be the heel. I would bet money on it. Mm-hmm. So that would kind of got me off guard. I was like, wait, but hold on, man. Really?
Have you heard the rumor about why Cody left AEW?
From what I heard, he was not getting along with the other VPs.
Right.
And it was time to get
Brandy Brandy wanted to stay because Tony was going to let her wrestle. He was going to, she was working out. She was at the Nightmare Factory, which is like their little version of NXT. And she was going to be in a program with another girl on the show. And that all got scuttled when Tony quit. I mean, when Cody left. Yes.
Thank God. Alex believes that Tony Khan forgot to mail Dave Meltzer the check, and that's why we are where we are right now.
I think what is going on with Meltzer, this is my theory, and I want to hear what you think. This is my theory. In the rift between Meltzer and Khan. And there's a rift going on right now.
There is.
I think that Khan has stopped taking Meltzer's advice. He feeds him guys that he should sign as recommendations, but he doesn't listen as to what to do with them. That's what I think.
Greg is asking to get blocked. I think Greg's asking to get blocked. He's over here ripping on my guy. And then he put that up. No, I agree. Look, I'm worried about my man Punk. I'm a big fan, but I am concerned about him. I really am. But I don't want to get into that. But if you ask me what Dave Meltzer is right now, this is what I think it is. Tony Khan was listening to him when they first started, right? That's what I think.
Right.
I don't think he's listening to him as much now. I also think that because this is failing with the guys that Tony Khan said they had to, or that Meltzer told him to push, such as the Young Bucks and the Kenny Omegas, you look at the numbers, they keep going down. Kenny Omega was damaged goods when he got there. He keeps getting hurt. I believe in my heart of hearts that Dave Meltzer anointed those guys as the next great generation of wrestlers. And now that it's failing and Tony's trying to turn and go in another direction, Dave can't get over it.
Omega's 41.
I honestly don't know. I don't think he's quite that old.
I think he's 40. He's got to be 40. Yeah, he's been around a long time. Overseas. On the U.S. scene, strictly AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was overseas for a while. I just don't know how old he is, but that's what I think. I think Dave Meltzer anointed these guys the next great things in wrestling. It's not working out. Tony Khan has stopped listening to him so much, and now there's a rift because he's ripping on him, which, by the way, before we get any further in this, I want to mention what Dave Meltzer said today yesterday on his radio show. Dave Meltzer said, AEW fan bases, they're not poor. Poor people don't like AEW. That's what he said, implying that all WWE fans are poor people. And, you know, I have never heard of as much bullshit in my life as I have today coming out of his mouth. I mean, the insanity for him to make a statement like that, when you see how much tickets cost to go to these major shows, when you see what it costs to get up front, they're not barely selling out anymore. They're swinging from the rafters, sold out shows now for the past year and a half. The product is on fire again. This is the most absurd thing he could have ever said. I took offense to it because, look, I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn, but I ain't poor, and I watch this program. I watch both programs. One of them happens to be a high-class television show that can bore me at times, but their PLEs almost always deliver. If you were to ask me what he meant by that, he was taking a shot at WWE because what came out today, he knew it was coming, and it hurt his feelings.
A good friend of mine is going to the Revolution show. A buddy of mine, Nick Sonny Frank, he lives down that way. And he bought a beef and cheddar with a Jamocha shake meal from Arby's, and it came with 4 free tickets to AEW Revolution. He said it was worth getting the extra cheddar and the Jamocha shake just to get the 4 free tickets.
I just can't believe he had the nerve to say that.
WrestleMania front row tickets. How much are they, guys? How much are the tickets for the Elimination Chamber front row? Probably $500.
No, they're more than that. They're more than that. They might be selling them through Ticketmaster for like $500, but all those roaches come in and snag them and sell them for thousands. I read somewhere that front row at WrestleMania this year, they were selling for $10,000 each. And that was the WWE price.
Green shirt with the smiley face on it. He's going to be at WrestleMania. He's at the Elimination Chamber. He's at the press conference today. That guy is in Perth, Australia.
He knows somebody. That's all I can say.
Yes. Somebody said he drives one of the equipment trucks. And he gets front row seats.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
You don't think so?
No, not a chance. Please give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Thank you, Greg, for putting that out there. Appreciate it.
Don't give
Chris,
us one of these. Give
this,
us one of these.
We talked about this last night, Chris. We do think that Arby's is doing the Meat Madness match. Anyway, I just thought
they got the meats.
They got the meats. I just thought that was one of the dumbest takes I've ever seen Dave Meltzer have in my life, is that poor people don't like AEW. When you look at these fans, when you look at them, Johnny, it's the greeter at the Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, that's 46 years old and still lives with his parents. You tell me, man, because when I watch WWE, a lot of those are family-based. They're buying group tickets to go to these things. It's not just one or two. It's not the single guys for the most part. It's groups of fans and family that show up at these events.
And a lot of high-powered movers and shakers in the entertainment industry. Did you see the Netflix crew that was there the other night on Raw?
Yes, I did. They had
all these execs from Netflix were there in the front row, drinking it up, having a good time. I saw an episode of Raw, it must have been about 7 years ago. Paul Stanley, the lead singer for Kiss, and his family were sitting right behind Michael Cole and whoever was doing color commentary at the time. It was Paul Stanley, and he's got like a son that's like 8 years old, 9 years old. Paul Stanley's older than dirt, but he married a young shiksa, and she sired his demon seed. So he was there, and he was just seeing the crowd like this.
Yeah, gotcha.
Staring at the camera. Everybody knew it was Paul Stanley. People were coming up behind him going like this, pointing.
Do you want to hear some of the other awards Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer handed out?
I'd just like to say that, before we go into that, I'd like to say that when Fox was canceling SmackDown, and they canceled SmackDown, they didn't renew their contract. The reason why supposedly they canceled SmackDown is because they can't get the ad rate, the high ad rate, like for their other programming, like American Idol or what have you. They can't get or whatever, whatever Chlamydia Island, whatever shows they have like that on Fox. They can't get Family Guy. They can't get a high advertising rate. What's that for?
I got something to comment on that. People keep saying they're canceled.
They didn't renew the contract.
The contract's up. It's renegotiation time. They didn't want to put as much money as everybody else did. People keep saying that. I don't see that. They weren't canceled. They're not going to renew their contract. They're not going to renegotiate. They just got $5 billion from Netflix.
Right.
What? What are we talking about?
SmackDown went right back to USA and paid them what they wanted for USA, because, hey, we're losing Raw. Let's get SmackDown. That's the number one wrestling show. It was the number one show on cable TV the last 3 Friday nights. Boy. But the thing is, Meltzer saw that. He heard that news and ran with it. And he thinks AEW is packing them in money-wise and all their advertising. Well, we said months ago that the NHL only draws 400,000, 450,000 viewers. And their ad rates are, 4 times?
Yeah, it's even higher
what they're getting for AEW.
It's crazy.
When you're watching AEW Dynamite and they're running a commercial picture-in-picture for AEW Collision, they can't sell the ads for that show on that show. Nobody wants to buy ads. When they run an ad for AEW Rampage and the same goddamn picture-in-picture in the same hour, they're not selling advertising for that show. They can't move it. They can't move the numbers.
It's funny you asked that, Warrior, because there was a Warner Brothers Discovery announcement today where they said they had $6.5 billion of cash on hand. It's the most cash that they've ever had on hand in like the past year and a half, but their stock fell like another 5 to 10% today. Their stock has fallen 45% in the past year. They're not doing well. That's why they're looking to merge with NBC Universal. That's why they're trying to
not merge, just sell it. Discovery wants to sell it outright and get rid of it.
Because they're
Warner Brothers and DC Comics and the DC studio, they want to get rid of that.
And they're having a hard enough
NBC Universal.
And they're having a hard enough time renegotiating with the NBA. Like if Tony Khan thinks he's going to get $1 billion for his wrestling show, he's out of his goddamn mind right now, I think.
Don, you know why they've got $6 billion on hand? Because they haven't produced any movies.
Yes,
because that
I read
strike.
That as well.
That's why they have the capital right now. They're making it look good. And hey, we've got Superman Legacy by James Gunn, the guy who brought you Guardians of the Galaxy for Marvel and did his magic over there. He's running and producing this movie. It's going to be the next big thing. Yada, 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 yada.
Right.
That's what they're really billboarding Superman Legacy. I read that in Variety yesterday, I believe. But go ahead, Doc.
Did you want me to continue with the awards? Because there's not a lot.
Why
left,
not? Why not? Let's keep on rolling with this shit fest. Go ahead.
Tag team of the year. I don't have a lot of heartburn with this one at all. But who would you have given it to?
I would have given it to the Bloodline, or I would have given it to Sammy.
I know what to give it to. I'd have given it to FTR. I'd have given it to them. Don't forget when Collision first started, it was so good. They had some outstanding tag team matches on that. They continue to have great matches. I don't have a problem with FTR winning. Eben doesn't have a problem with them winning. That's fine with me. I really don't mind at all. They really are, and this is just me, they really are one of the great tag teams come along in a long time. It's rare that you see a great tag team. They barely just throw these guys together now, and it's sad. I miss the days of really good tag teams. Best interviews. Best on interviews. How about Eddie Kingston?
Who was it really?
No, it's Eddie Kingston. That's for real. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Wait, it gets better. MJF finished second.
What?
MJF finished second. You know who's not even on the list? CM Punk. Not even on the list.
Well, that's spite.
That is very much spite. Look, I couldn't have argued too much if you gave it to MJF. Couldn't have argued too much. The guy's money on the microphone. He's been great. The face turn I wasn't a big fan of, but other than that, he had about 3/4 of a great year. Eddie Kingston, okay, I'm moving on. We already said promotion of the year was WWE. Here's where it gets crazy.
Wait a minute, what's the category best on interviews? You mean job interviews or just regular interviews?
I mean interviews in the ring, interviews on a microphone.
The best on job interviews. He's still looking.
Yes, Mike, this is the World Wrestling or World the newsletter that Dave has. I'm not even getting into it again.
The Wrestling Observer.
This list is so absurd.
You're apoplectic. You're apoplectic from this.
Because I'm looking at the next thing and I'm like, you got to be shitting me, man. Best weekly TV show.
It's got to be SmackDown.
Yeah, how about we're going to go with AEW Dynamite? AEW Dynamite won. Here's what came in second. AEW Collision. SmackDown came in third. So the show with the most eyes on it finished third. The Bloodline storyline that led into WrestleMania last year that was so huge, that set up all the feuds, that Randy Orton got involved in. CM Punk came back when they were fighting those guys. That show, SmackDown, finished third. I don't really want to get into pro wrestling match of the year because you know who the hell that's going to be. It's going to be one of his favorites. Of course, it's always going to be Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and the Tokyo Dome. You know it, January 4th last year. Let's give it up for that shit nobody saw. I don't want to keep running down this. I'm just going to keep going down as fast as I can now.
Do people actually vote on this? Do people actually vote on this?
Yes.
Or does Dave just make it up?
No, Dave, this is real. This is real.
So if you went down with all these votes and tabulated, added them all together, let's say promotion of the year, and we pull that up. Okay. If I went and added all these votes up and got a total, and I went to every category and added the votes up, it still should be the same total. All the subscribers. Everybody who's voting in one category should vote in every single category.
They're not,
correct?
But they're not. They're not.
They're not.
No.
Well, it looks like it's bullshit to me. It looks like he's padding it and making it up as he goes along.
Wait, this is where it gets better. Most charismatic. MJF over Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes isn't even on here.
Over Roman Reigns.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. Like, I don't want to get through anymore. Of course, Rhea Ripley, at least they got that right. She won, Female Wrestler of the Year. I don't know how much longer I want to get into the shit, man. Oh, here's the best one. No, here's the best one. I got to give you this one because this is so great. the best technical wrestler, a.k.a. the Bryan Danielson Award. Who do you think won that?
Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson! Holy shit, dude. Worst television announcer went to Booker T. I can't really argue that.
Well, I can see that. I can say that. But he is hard.
Best announcer
Shucky,
went to
ducky,
Excalibur.
quack, quack. Who?
I just said that.
What? What'd you just say?
Best television announcer, Excalibur. That's all I got. I don't want to get to. Oh, yeah. Shit. Best Booker went to Paul Levesque. Promoter of the Year, Nick Khan. And
the right Khan won. The right Khan won that.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to cover on this guy, because at this point in time, it's just going to make me insanely just pissed off. But that's his awards. That's the award show, Johnny.
You can't deny the metrics of the WWE juggernaut, the ticket sales. What's this say? Our wrestling world is being taken over by mindless basement-dwelling dirt stranglers. Yes, and the dirt they're strangling is around their pubic region. That's what they're strangling. Sockface won. That's right. Jim, you didn't get it this year, Jim. Sorry. You weren't on TV enough. Eamon's dead. That's it.
Spready Roosevelt nailed it. How do you vote Triple H Booker of the Year and none of his shows win Show of the Year? It's just complete nonsense.
You cannot deny the metrics of the WWE, the ratings, the booking of the shows, the advertising production values of the shows, the merchandise sales, and the house show, the live event sales. You cannot deny those metrics. They're huge. So Dave couldn't lie about that. He couldn't lie about those metrics. So he had to give AEW all the other bullshit awards. The Bryan Danielson Award. The Luthez Ric Flair Award. Good Lord.
I don't want to dwell on it, but between his comments about, only poor people don't like AEW and this shit coming out today, I was like, man, you know what? This dude's on his last lifeline in wrestling. Like, he's swinging for the fences and striking out, man. I just don't get this guy anymore. I don't understand his obsession with AEW and trying to get this thing over anymore. I put it this way. I think I do. This helps him. AEW helps him stay in business. If it's a one-horse show, he's really screwed then. If it's
a one-horse show, Don, he'll be jerking off to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He'll be jerking off to that like he had been for years. Kota Ibushi, Tomoshiro Ishii, Okada, all those guys. Yeah. He loves those guys. And when Omega was over there and the Bullet Club was over there, that was the best promotion around. And New Japan Pro Wrestling won all the awards 5 years ago, before Dynamite.
And we forgot to mention this yesterday. We were going to talk about this. It has now officially been a year since AEW has had 1 million viewers.
The no milliversary, as they say on Twitter.
Yes.
The no milliversary.
And it has no end in sight, because when you're bagging 828 as an average in the middle of the dead sports season, because right now all you've got is hockey and basketball winding up late. Like, this is the part of the football or basketball and hockey year that sucks, because the playoffs are right around the corner and you've already established who's probably going to make it. The rest of them are all just playing to get in, and no one really gives a shit. You know what the top teams are. So I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, if they can't pull themselves up by the bootstraps right now, I don't see it happening.
I think the big solution is to hire a female racist head of creative. That's what I think.
Go ahead, Johnny. Drop it.
Jennifer Pepperman was a writer, an Emmy Award-winning writer, I might add, not from the WWE, from her travails and travels through the WWE, but through her other time in broadcast TV. She's won an Emmy for something. I don't know what it was. I don't have it in front of me right now. But Jennifer Pepperman, her contract was up with the WWE, and they said, bon voyage, God bless you. You were a great employee, and we think the world of you. If you ever would have come back, that's fine. And she went right to AEW. Imagine that. So there's no contract tampering there. She just said, they must be hiring. Yes.
Why is this hire important, Johnny?
I'm pulling it up right now, as a matter of fact. There was a lawsuit, a racial discrimination lawsuit that was raised last year from a young black woman who was a writer for the WWE. And as I find this, I'm struggling to find it, Don. Hang on a second, pal. Cersei. There it is right here. Yes. Her name was Brittany Abrahams, and she sued WWE for discrimination and retaliation during her time with the promotion. The lawsuit named Vince McMahon, Chris Dunn, Ryan Callahan, Jennifer Pepperman, Christine Lubrano, Mike Heller, and Stephanie McMahon. These are all people in the creative committees and in the writer's room. Cited offensively racist and stereotypical jargon used in WWE scripts. Abrahams, who claimed she was fired over taking a commemorative chair, despite her male Caucasian colleagues doing the same with no recourse. It was a SummerSlam chair. You know, if you sit in the front row, you get to buy the chair too. They had a bunch of them left over, and someone said, hey, go ahead, take some of those. So she took one because she saw all the male white guys taking them too. She was fired over taking the chair. She wasn't allowed to take it. No one gave her permission. She was seeking reinstatement damages, declaratory judgment, and an injunction restraining defendants from engaging in such unlawful conduct. WWE declined to comment on these accusations. And here is from the lawsuit. Here's the notes. Jennifer Pepperman, oh my God. Jennifer Pepperman treated the plaintiff with discrimination and other black and African American WWE employees poorly compared to their similarly situated white and Caucasian counterparts. Pepperman routinely and unjustifiably raised her voice at the plaintiff and made rude comments about the plaintiff and other black and African American WWE employees. Pepperman would just snap at plaintiff and her similarly situated black African American counterparts or deliberately berate them in front of everyone else. Pepperman had zero patience for plaintiff and her similarly situated black African American counterparts. Pepperman's tone and countenance routinely differed from when she spoke to or engaged with plaintiff's white Caucasian counterparts.
That's the claim.
That's the claim.
And it was settled out of court, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir. Settled out of court for an undisclosed amount of money. She's been announced. So they paid her to go away. They paid Miss Abrahams to go away, of course. Probably slipped her a few million and said, "See you later." And she's somewhere probably, in Bermuda, having a nice long vacation.
The reason this is such a big deal with AEW signing her is Tony Khan does not have right now what I would call the best background or history with African-American wrestlers in that company. Now, I get it. Swerve Strickland's getting a push, but there have been some other claims going about that company that he is not fond of, or he doesn't do well with the African-American wrestlers in his company.
This is true.
That's
Leo
just
Rush,
why.
Big Swole.
Yeah.
Look at the Powerhouse Hobbs. Stop, start pushes.
Yeah.
There's Shoddy Lee Jackson. AR Fox. There's a lot of guys who they appear on TV and they just vanish, and they don't come back for a long, long time.
So it's just interesting that this was the writer that they hired when Tony Khan's been screaming from a mountaintop, "I'm the writer. I don't need another writer."
Right. Now you look at guys like Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. That act, you could not. Wardlow must be black. Probably he's black from the waist down. That's probably what the problem is.
You guys are great. You're killing me.
Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana, that act, those guys were undeniable. They got over. Strickland had a name somewhat from being in NXT and being on the Indies
right
before he came to AEW. So he was a good hire. He had experience. And Nana's been around in Ring of Honor. So those guys, exactly, Scorpio Sky, he had to go and say something about this. Scorpio Sky got injured. He let them all know, everybody know he was fine. He's ready to come back. Kept him off TV for a year. He let Jay's last match happen on Rampage to show no one exactly humble. Exactly.
Why would you not have her on Dynamite, your biggest female star you've ever had, and you put her on that show? Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting little nugget we came across this week. Kind of raised my eyebrows when you know the back history on that. and what's going on, what's been said in AEW about Tony Khan.
Yes, Big Swole. She was the first one to blow the whistle.
She blew a big whistle. She had a train whistle.
Now, Big Swole was plagued with Crohn's disease. She's had it for years. She has some flare-ups from time to time, and you don't want to be wrestling, especially AEW, when you have Crohn's disease, if you know what that's all about.
Yeah, man.
She controlled it with medication, but she had flare-ups. She's the wife of Cedric Alexander from the WWE, who is also, I don't know what's going to happen to that guy. I think he's going to form a tag team with Shante the Adonis, formerly of Hit Row. So I think that's the next step with them. They're going to go to NXT. But anyway, I digress. Leo Rush. Remember Leo Rush?
Yes, I do.
That's another guy who said Tony Khan does not like black people.
There was some other news today that came out. So it came out with Cody Rhodes came out and said, hey, man, this is what we were going to do originally with WrestleMania. It was going to be The Rock, and it was going to be Roman Reigns. But the injury to CM Punk changed things, so now I'm going to be in it. We were going to have an injury angle where I was going to have to miss WrestleMania because I was going to get jumped by the Bloodline, and The Rock was going to intervene and save me and all this other shit. Here's what really happened. They got wind of this, that this is where they were going, and the wrestling fans turned on it, and they had to do an about face. Had to immediately. This shit ain't working. So this is once again Cody Rhodes trying to be a company man and saying this is why it would have made sense. This is where we were going. I saw that today. I was like, the dude, he's just such a stand-up guy for the company. He's trying to get ahead of this and make it look like it was going to be a good angle. This was shit from the word go. It was an immediate knee-jerk reaction you and I both had when he came out. Holy shit, The Rock versus freaking Roman Reigns. That's the biggest match they could get. And then you sat there as a fan. You're like, wait a minute, man. Why have I put all this goddamn time and investment in pulling for Cody Rhodes and watching his storyline if a year later it's not going to pay off for me?
Don, would you say Cody Rhodes is the new John Cena? Face of the company?
He's the new face of the company, but John Cena, man, that dude, he was loved and hated. He was just loved and hated. You were either a fan or you hated that guy. I've never seen a guy split a crowd that much in my life. If there's one thing I can say about Cody, 95% of the crowd is cheering that guy to no end. They love Cody Rhodes. He's out there kissing babies and shaking hands. For now.
Right. Let's hope that they don't sour on Cody Rhodes and all the goodness and niceness. But Cena killed it because he never lost a match.
He did Super Cena. That's where he got the name. It was Super Cena. He just never lost. It was never in danger. He could come back.
Just got pinned on Raw. Cody just got pinned on Raw by McIntyre.
That was a big deal. Yeah. There was also a news because we're going to get it. Well, let's get to this first. So we're going to go into the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Hulk Hogan. Okay. Hulk Hogan's in the news again today.
Really?
Hulk Hogan says he turned.
Talking about a guy who doesn't like black people.
Hulk Hogan says he turned down an offer from a Paramount executive who told him he was going to make him the next John Wayne.
John Wayne?
Let that sink in. Yeah.
Yes, Tex Hogan. Tex Hogan.
Two Guns Terry.
Two Guns Terry, yes. Two Guns Terry.
I couldn't believe when I read this today because I've also seen where Hogan has said, hey, I was sexually approached by an executive, but it was a man. I turned him down, and that's what killed my acting career. So, look, Hogan was a big childhood idol of mine. I watched him in the 80s and the 90s. Thought he was a great wrestler. He got my ass in the arena. But this guy later in life, man, I don't know if it's the chair shots or what it is, but something's wrong upstairs with this guy right now. There's something wrong upstairs with him.
Well, Donnie's found religion now, so.
Well, he needs to quit finding chair shots. When I saw that, I was like, come on, man, really? You're going to tell me you're going to be the next John Wayne? Really? Are you shitting me right now?
Yes.
Anyway, there was a couple of other things going on. The Elimination Chamber is tomorrow. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be up at 3 o'clock to watch this.
Horseshit.
Yeah, horseshit. I'm absolutely not going to be up at 3 a.m. to watch this.
No, the pre-show, 4 o'clock, I believe, 4 a.m. 5 o'clock, the show actually starts, the main show. Pre-show is going to be Cena must pose. Whatever, I'll read it later.
Yeah, Cena must pose, pal, from 2007, 2011. There was a concern getting the Elimination Chamber overseas. This came out today. They had to ship it in parts because they were so concerned with pirates jacking the Elimination Chamber cage and stealing the ship. Can you imagine the world we're in right now where we're worried about pirates again in the open ocean? What the hell is going on in this world, man? They're going to steal my cage.
In the South Seas,
pal. The thing over. Good God.
Arr.
You would think, dude, they would reach out to, the Australian government or something. Hey, can you get your Navy out there? We're about to put on a huge show in your country. We'd like to have some sort of protection coming in.
It's Brian Blackbeard Danielson and his eye patch down there on the boat with Minoru Suzuki and Kyle Fletcher. Arr!
RBBT, I want your cage match. Where's the booty?
Vince I'm the technical wrestler of the year. Arr.
Holy shit. So that's sort of what's going on there. I was kind of surprised when I read that. I'm going to watch tomorrow once we get up. Family's going to have breakfast. Might have a Bloody Mary or two and throw this son of a bitch on. The Pirates are like, this is my ship now. I like that.
This is my chamber now. I'm the champ. I'm the champion.
I'm the champion. Cody was
I'm the champion.
Your ship, pal. Your ship, pal. You're the bloodline. Anyway, so I want to talk about the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Tag team. There's only like 4 or 5 matches announced for this thing on the main show, man.
The last one I saw was the one on the pre-show. The Kabuki Warriors versus Indy Hartwell, hometown girl, Perth, Australia, and Candice LeRae. So you know the outcome of that match. You know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I'm not going to give a shit. That's the outcome of that match.
Exactly. That's good sandwich making time right there.
There is one match on this card that I think the titles could change hands, and it's the opening match. The tag team match, right? The Judgment Day is going to face Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. If there's going to be a title change, I feel like this is where you do it. You give the Australian crowd something to have. Because what the New Day's doing with these titles, it's not going anywhere for me, man. It's just not. I'm not a fan of this.
The Judgment Day. What if they just put one set of belts on the line? They should just put one set of the belts on the line, not both. That way, split the shit. Have tag champs on both shows, indicative of each brand, and just let it go with that. Keep one set of belts on the Judgment Day and give somebody new a set of belts.
I'm fine with that. You can have split tag team champions. There's enough people, but this is just getting on my nerves, man. It's just getting on my nerves. And yes, Rastafari, I know pirates are no joke, but here's my issue, and I'm not going to get political, but they shouldn't be. The governments of each country should be handling this accordingly and blowing these assholes out of the water. But I'm not going to get into a political dispute. Yeah. Just if you see them, bang, bang, now you're gone. So you say they're not going to change it, right? You don't think so?
Nah.
Okay.
Not unless if they split the belts, then they'll, Dunn and Tyler Bate will win the SmackDown tag belts. But
here's the thing.
I don't think they're going to do it.
I'm not saying they're going to lose it, but I'm saying that has the most likelihood of changing hands, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Then you have the Women's Elimination Chamber, right? Who do you think
we know
wins?
Who's going to win that.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch.
I feel like this is the match, though, that has some kind of outside interference within the chamber that causes her to win. If I feel like this is going to come down to her and Belair, and Belair is going to get screwed by somebody. And if you're going to use Jade in a match, this is when you do it. Or you have Nia Jax come back in the match and screw her over.
You could do that. They were teasing something with Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair at that press conference today. Although I think that might be the Mania match. Stratton and Belair. But we shall see.
I think we both agree Becky Lynch is going to win. It's just how is she going to win this thing is what it comes down to.
Right.
And I hope it's, to me, there's got to be a screw finish, right? There's got to be a screw finish to where Becky, you've got to give Belair a bitch and you've got to get Becky in there because that's what they've been pushing now for the last month and a half. That's where we're going, in my opinion.
What if there's no clear winner? What they're the last two there, and there's no clear winner. Jax has crushed both of them, And neither one of them can go on. And they just say there's no winner. Those two are there. They have to figure something out. Adam Pearce will be waxing that bald head trying to figure out what to do.
And that's what we were talking about last night. Like, what if there's a screw finish where there's no clear winner, or I don't know, you have a double pin? What if there's like a double pin moment in this match? So we'll see. Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley, right? She has to win this thing. She's the hometown.
She's got to win. She's the main event. That's going to be the main event of the show.
I think it's going to be the main event as well. I think that's what's going to close the show.
I think they announced it on Twitter. That's going to be the main event of the show.
What is your concern in this match, Bottles? Because I know I've got mine.
With what? With
Becky,
Ripley and Jax?
With Ripley and Jax. Yeah, I got concerns, man.
Got concerns for Ripley getting hurt. You don't want Ripley to get hurt.
You don't want to hurt your money.
But then again, is Ripley will naturally be a hometown face in this match.
Oh, sure, for sure. They're gonna scream for her from the top of their lungs.
When it's over, Don, and and they go to Raw Monday, is she still a face?
I think she's a face now. If you listen to her come out on Raw, they're cheering her now. She's not a heel in any way.
But that's because they hate Nia Jax. But if she was fighting Becky Lynch,
I think you're going to see Becky Lynch get turned on. I really do. I don't think you're going to see the crowd boo. No one's going to boo her at WrestleMania, man. I'm sorry. She is too over. She is too hot. They are trying to make her a heel, and she's not a shit heel. She's an ass-kicking heel. Ass-kicking heels are so hard to put over as heels now. If you're an ass kicker, people love you. Dominic Mysterio, that's why he was with her for so long. He was the one getting the heat. Mm-hmm. He's her heater. Because without him, they're going to cheer the shit out of him. Or out of her.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
And Hubble's right. Rhea is the face of that whole group. Everybody else is a bunch of heels.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, then you've got the men's chamber. Is there any doubt it's going to be Drew McIntyre? I mean, is there any doubt?
No doubt.
It's got to be him, right? He's hot as hell right now.
Dude, what a swerve if he didn't win that. What a swerve that would be if he did not win in the chamber. That'd be amazing. He would be so pissed off.
Well, he has to win, though. He's the guy. He's carrying the water right now. He is one of the hottest heels they've had forever because he is that guy. He's talking shit and taking cheap shots when he needs to. And I think it's going to come down, and Hubble's onto it. She's got Randy Orton. I think you're going to have Orton and McIntyre be the last two guys, and I think you're going to see something from the bloodline cost Randy Orton, and that's how it's going to end. That's just my opinion.
Could be.
Anyway, that's our rundown for that. Johnny, I've got one last thing I want to talk about because we actually talked about this yesterday. Bobby Roode had an interview. We had just talked about this yesterday, and now there was an interview that came out. And they asked him about being cleared to compete. He said, ironically enough, I just got green lighted. The fusion is completely fused. So he had back fusion. So as far as like looking for it to be a medical point of view, it's safe to go back in the ring, I guess. But at almost 48 years old, give the opportunity I've been given now to work as a producer, which was my goal coming into the WWE 8 years ago. I'm quite happy doing this. So I think we're done.
He's done.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Good for him, right? I always liked Bobby Roode. I saw him wrestle live a couple of times. I was pretty excited to see him. He was a hell of a performer in his prime, man.
Yes, he was.
That guy wasted his career in TNA, in my opinion. What a great wrestler in the end. I really enjoyed his work. When he got to the WWE stage, Beer Buddy was great. When they were feuding with the Machine Guns, what the hell was the name of that group?
The Motor City
Machine Guns. I love that feud, man. I didn't think that got enough love on it. But anyway, I have emptied my notebook right now. I'm looking forward to getting up tomorrow, watching this with the family. Do you got anything else from me? What do you got over there that's left that we got to get?
Let's take a look at March 13th, Wednesday, March 13th. AEW Dynamite Big Business from Boston, Massachusetts at the
the ticket sales. How's that going?
Current setup is for 6,831. They've distributed 6,107 tickets.
So they've almost sold it out for what it's set up for.
It's probably close to it right now.
The place holds 18,000 people.
Yes.
I mean,
they've tarped off a lot. Have we talked about John Cena on the Howard Stern show?
Oh, we
want to bring that up.
Well,
you want to bring that up.
You haven't read
I got the transcript right here.
Humble says the problem is Drew hasn't signed a new deal to WWE. Humble, I honest to God don't believe that for a minute. I don't think they're going to announce it until after this is all said and done at WrestleMania. I think they've had it done for a while. I don't think there's any chance Drew McIntyre's leaving this company. There's
less leaks now than it was when Vince was in power.
Right.
They've got a tight grip in TKO. He's already re-up. Otherwise, they would never purport him to be in a feud with CM Punk when CM Punk comes back. So they would announce that on the air.
Yeah, I've got
it. They've tightened up the screws and batten down the hatches for the.
They're not letting these big announcements get out anymore. They are the ones that are going to make these big announcements. They are the ones that are going to control the narrative on when this gets announced. Because
and
Drew's
not Mumbles Meltzer.
Exactly. Because Drew's getting the push of his life right now. And it's been great to watch. What did John Cena say?
Well, Stern asked him about the Vince McMahon lawsuit and the allegations, and John Cena said, and I quote, "I don't think it's complicated to talk about. It's complicated to listen to, and that's why I don't necessarily put a lot of time and equity into it. There's still a long way to go. I can say this. I'm a big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication. In the same breath, though, I'm also a big advocate of accountability. If someone's behavior lies so far outside of your value system that the balance shifts of, I can't operate in a world where this works, then that's the end result of being accountable. Right now, I'm going to love the person I love, be their friend. I love you. You have a hill to climb. There is the saying of, you don't know who your friends are until shit hits the fan or your back's against the wall. And that doesn't make any of what's going on any easier to swallow. Just telling someone you love them, it's a hill to climb, and we'll see what happens." That was John Cena on the Vince lawsuit and allegations. And he does love Vince because he wouldn't have what he's got now if it wasn't for Vince McMahon taking a shine to him. Have you heard about Val Venus going off on Cody Rhodes?
I have not, but Black Larry wants Drew McIntyre to have a contract on a pole match. Folks, if you never watched the on a pole matches back in the 80s, that was some shit to watch, man. Crazy stuff.
Judy Bagwell with a forklift match.
Humble, I don't know that Cena's going to love Vince McMahon from a distance. I just think he's saying, I'm going to let this play out. Like, that's my guy. I'm not going to speak out until this all goes to court. If when it goes to court, he's found to see, he was a deviant, depraved lunatic. He's depraved. I think if that comes out, then I think you might see the entire narrative shift. Randy Orton had a similar comment where he said something very similar, like, hey, look, I need to see this play out. I got to see what's going to happen. I'm not going to speak on this until it happens. But what did the old pothead say?
Conspiracy theorist and right-wing conservative Val Venus has a penchant for going off on people with different ideologies.
Imagine
Twitter. And he took aim at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes he emerged as a prominent hero in the WWE and a guy of a high moral fiber. And Venus has levied harsh criticism against Rhodes, branding him a Satan worshiper for his support of transgender rights and urging him to cease promoting what Venus terms as mental disorders. However, his actions took a disturbing turn on Twitter when he dragged Rhodes' daughter into the fray. In a tweet directed at Rhodes...
He brought his daughter in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In a tweet directed at Rhodes, Venus posed a hypothetical scenario asking how Rhodes would respond if his child approached him claiming to have been taught by a teacher that she was born in the wrong body. And here's the quote. "Hey, Cody Rhodes, what are the first 3 things you would do if your child came to you and said, 'Daddy, my teacher taught me today that I was born in the wrong body'?" Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of politics here. It's a slippery slope, but Val Venus is a lunatic in this respect. He crossed the line in a big way and brought this man's child into this. And even Steve Carrier from Ringside News, where I'm reading this article from, is Steve's out there too, but he even says, he crossed the line and also delves into deeply personal and sensitive territory by invoking Rhodes' family in such a manner. Venus's actions have been met with widespread condemnation. This is not the first time he's courted controversy with his incendiary remarks. He previously accused Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson of selling his soul to the devil. So,
look, if you want to talk about a guy and his political beliefs, that's one thing. But when you bring in a child, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth.
I'd have to say Val Venus is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, folks.
Yeah, you're a dick, Val. What a complete ass act to even talk about his child. That's I think she's maybe 3 or 4. Like, get the hell out of here. I don't hear anything more about that guy. Never want to mention him again. I don't. And Larry, damn it, man. Now we got people wanting something on a pole match. Mike from New York said he wanted Braun Breaker contract on a pole match. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Is there anything else that you have, sir?
Flipping through what I have saved. Flipping through what I have saved right now. A former star who's sliding downward from fame and fortune now has become the new IWGP Global Champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that man is the former Dolph Ziggler.
Did he really?
He won the IWGP Global Championship belt.
I had no idea. I did not see that at all. Good for him, man. Good for him to still be living his dream. I got nothing negative to say about Dolph.
I know one woman here who's been very, very excited about goings on in the news and in the world of professional wrestling. And this young lady, Don, you've talked about it today on the phone with me. I'm going to show everybody what I'm talking about right here.
Oh, yes. This is how you should look as a fan. My girl was ready for this shit. Ready, son.
She hears voices in her head, Don.
That's when you know you're a fan. Show me the last time the music hit in an AEW show and somebody had a reaction like that. I mean, my girl was ready to go, son. That shit hit and she came out of her seat. That's fandom. I love to see that kind of stuff, man. That lets me know that wrestling is back. When you just hear the music and you're like, yes! Yes!
Folks, I think that if your significant other acts like that woman did when you walk into the room when she saw Randy Orton, you've got something there. That's all I can tell you. You've got something there. Folks, in a couple of minutes now, you're going to have WWE SmackDown on the Fox Network. And on SmackDown tonight, Don, Randy Orton will be addressing the fans. The Street Profits will be fighting the Authors of Pain. LA Knight takes on Drew McIntyre. That looks like it could be a good match. And Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne take on Dominic Mysterio and bobblehead JD McDonough.
You know what the best part about this SmackDown is? No injuries were announced and it was a pre-tape. So that's good. I've heard nothing about injuries. No, I have not heard anything about Orton changing his theme music. And Connie the cook says mouth breathers don't act like that. Thank you all for joining today. Please like and subscribe. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to watch this show tomorrow. I'm excited. Thank you all for joining us again. I loved it. I can't wait, man. Pay-per-view tomorrow morning. Looking forward to it.
I heard how Jim Ross broke his hip.
Oh, really?
Yes, I heard how Jim Ross broke his hip.
How?
He was in a 3-way with Nyla Rose and Nia Jax.
Dear God. No.
That's what I heard. You know who told me that?
I bet.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.